And gentlemen, welcome to Clubs in Trouble, the series where we take some of the world's clubs in crisis and try and restore some form of glory to them. The rules for this challenge are very simple. We can only make up to 3 signings per transfer window. We must use the basic transfer budget given to us, and then we must play 1 full season with the club. We then measure our success with a score out of 10 and determine whether further seasons are needed. Vibe Gang members can have their say on the next club we use in exclusive polls over on the community tab. And of course, the club that is kicking off the Clubs in Trouble series is going to be West Ham United. Now, this is a club for me that is a sleeping giant of English football. You can see that even on the board expectations, their domestic success has gone to low. Now, I don't think that's right. Now, West Ham United, a club that had the World Cup winning captain in 1966 for England. They also had the guy that scored the hat-trick in the final, of course, and a club that has recently moved into a 60,000 capacity stadium. I would say the signs are there that West Ham want to be a team that is consistently finishing in the top 10 and, of course, challenging as well in the same sort of breath as Leicester, maybe even Tottenham, as a club that's going for top 6. Lately in real life, it just hasn't happened for them. They've been flirting more with relegation than anything. So with a £32 million transfer budget, I think we can make some really smart signings here. And I'm going to set our objective to be that we finish in the top 8. But realistically, between me and you, I think if we really push ourselves, we can get top 6 here. So just to elaborate on the financial rules slightly, we've obviously disabled a financial takeover, so no extra funds in those regards. We will, however, use the European International Cup as a means of gaining some extra financial capital to put towards those 3 transfers that we're going to make in this transfer window. We also will be able to generate money from player sales. So we've just got to be smart about the players we let go, but of course we are limited to those 3 incoming transfers. So here's a look at West Ham's strongest 11. Now I'm going to identify the 3 positions I think I need to strengthen, and immediately I can see that we probably need a natural wide player, like a winger, probably out on that left-hand side. Bowen's 23 years old, so he'll grow to be an 80-ish rated. That's decent for a mid-table to top 6 team. Fornals, I probably will prefer to play him in the centre because we want some pace out on that left-hand side. So probably a left winger. Then you're looking at probably a centre-back. I mean, Diop, I like him. He's young. He's going to be good. Ogbonna's ageing. Balbuena probably not good enough. So yeah, we probably need to invest in a centre-back. And then I'm not sure about the other position. I think we definitely need a backup goalkeeper. But for this particular season, this particular window, I think Fabianski is going to be good enough, at least for 1 season. So you're looking at maybe a fullback, maybe a striker, maybe even an attacking midfielder to replace Lanzini. So we'll see what I decide, and we'll cut to the transfers right now. So I can confirm that we have indeed made our very first signing of the Clubs in Trouble series, and of course our very first signing as well for West Ham United. Now let me move this news bulletin tab to the right, and you can see that the signing we've made, our new number 8 it says there, I might change that, but it's Alain Saint-Maximin, the left midfielder who comes from our Premier League rivals Newcastle United. We had to pay big bucks for him. We paid £34.75 million, plus we gave them Robert Snodgrass as well as part of the agreement. Snodgrass, 32 years old, always going to just go down from now on. And so a nice young 23-year-old French wide player, I think, is one of the best signings we could possibly have made in that wide position there. You can see he can play left mid, left wing, and he can play up front as well. So we've got a little bit more depth as well beyond Aller and Antonio if we do need to stick him up top. For me as well, he will probably grow quite quickly. He's 23 years old and he's one of the most highly rated wingers in the Premier League, I'd say, in that sort of below 25, 26 category. So fantastic. Look at that dribbling. 88 dribbling, 93 pace. We need to work on his shooting a little bit, and he probably will stay on that left-hand side, but I might train him to become a right midfielder to rotate with Bowen as well, because I think we're probably going to end up shipping Yamalenko to earn a bit of capital. So, our first signing, 1 of 3 down, Alain Saint-Maximin joins the Hammers. So that Saint-Maximin deal took up pretty much the entire transfer budget. It was 34.5 million. We were only able to get it over the line because we changed our wage budget. We managed to sort of alter the budget a little bit. But now we've got to turn our attention on getting some players out of the club and earning some money for them. The first of those exits is Ryan Fredericks, who goes to Sevilla for £8.5 million. We get £6 million added to the transfer budget. I think that'll be about £10 million now when we change the transfer and wage budget split to be something that works for us. So we've still got a fair few players to sell, but hopefully we can start getting up towards the 30 million mark again after a few more players leave, and then we can look at signing our second player of the window. So the second player that has left is Angelo Ogbonna. So another defender, but the defenders that we are selling are all 30 plus. So we're looking to sort of refresh that back line, and we're definitely going to have to invest in 1 or 2 defenders with our remaining 2 transfer slots inbound wise. But Angelo Ogbonna leaves for 8.1 million. He goes to Burnley, so he stays in the league, and we get 6 million added to the transfer budget. It's all going to add up, and it is going to enable us to sign somebody who's just in that upper echelon of player that's going to take West Ham to the next level. Right, so another player has left West Ham United, and this time it's Andre Yamalenko, who leaves for a nice sum to Olympique Marseille, but the sum is £12 million. For a 30-year-old winger, that's not too bad. 77 rated. We can definitely use Bowen there primarily, and then rotate a couple of different players, Antonio and stuff, out on that right-hand side. 9 million gets added to our transfer budget, which I think is going to mean that very, very soon we can add someone to our ranks, maybe an attacking midfielder or a replacement winger perhaps, maybe someone that can play both positions, and I think the calibre will be a bit better than Yamalenko, so this is good news. So there we go, officially our second signing as we stick with this sort of French theme that we're going with. The first signing, Alain Saint-Maximin, and the second signing, Christopher Nkunku. So he's a very, very highly rated player, plays for Red Bull Leipzig in real life. He will come in and fit in nicely ahead of Lanzini in that centre attacking midfield spot. He has pretty balanced stats going forward, very good passing and dribbling. He can shoot, he's pretty fast, he can play up front as well, and he's only 22 years old as well. So I'm imagining that he's one of those players like Saint-Maximin that's going to grow as well and become maybe like mid-80s when he reaches his potential. But this season, he's definitely better than the options that we already had at the club. But I have to say, that does leave a big hole in our transfer budget at the moment. So if we do want to have anybody else come in, then it would be a fact that we would have to sell players first. And that is the unfortunate truth that we're in. So we've made 2 huge signings, but we are a little bit lacking at the back. Perhaps the loan market is something we could look at, or maybe we could sell someone like a Lanzini. I would be reluctant to sell Fornals, but maybe a Fornals as well, to just generate some money to bring in a decent centre-back to come in alongside Diop. So, we have managed to sell Aaron Cresswell to Leicester City for 9.5 million. Now again, this is the 3rd or 4th defender we've sold, so it does leave us very, very weak at the back. We need to sell probably another midfielder like Lanzini or someone in order to just bring in somebody, maybe a versatile defender, so we can make sure we secure that 3rd signing that we're allowed. And yeah, make sure it's a good defender. But this is going to be difficult. And at the moment, we've only got 1 left back in the club, and that's Masuaku. So here we go. It's transfer deadline day, and we have made our 3rd and final signing of this particular window. And that is Eric Garcia, the highly rated Spanish centre-back from Manchester City, who comes to West Ham for a grand total of £5 million. I couldn't go for anybody who's currently much higher rated than what he is, which I think is 72 at the moment. He'll come in and rotate with Balbuena, and I think Garcia will probably go up and reach Balbuena's rating overall quite quickly. He's 19 years old, and then I think in the next transfer window is where we're going to see further strengthening, and we're going to be able to maybe sign somebody a bit more high profile, maybe a bit more in their sort of prime age, that sort of thing. I don't know exactly where, but I've got a few ideas of what I want to do in January. But for now, this is the squad going into the season as of, post-deadline day. So we've got Fabianski. Well, actually, let me just quickly put him on the bench. Our brand new signing, Garcia. Get rid of Cardoso for now, who's another reasonably decent young upcoming centre-back. But Garcia's definitely in a sort of league above. But yes, so he's going to come straight on the bench. We'll see as well if we can potentially make him fill in at left back, although at the moment this guy Johnson can. But this is the squad anyway. So we've got Fabianski in goal. We've got Balbuena and Diop at the moment at centre-back. Kufau and Masuaku on either side of the centre-backs. Rice and Susek with Nkunku ahead of them. Aller up front, and on the wings, of course, Alain Saint-Maximin and Jared Bowen, who's already gone up 1 as well. So I think this is a good foundation. I think we've used the 3 transfers limit quite wisely. And I'm excited to see how St. Maximin and Nkunku continue to develop. But what we're going to do now is we're going to check in at the end of each month and just have a quick flashback of what's gone on in that month. And I'm just going to try my best to steer West Ham towards the upper echelons of the Premier League table. And I really think this squad is going to be able to do it. So we'll keep it relatively brief for the month of August. So we are sitting in 7th. We're still unbeaten in the league. We've won 1 and drawn 3 games. You can see our results there. We started the season off with a 2-1 home victory against Crystal Palace. We drew with Newcastle, drew with Manchester City, and beat Reading in the cup on penalties, and then drew away to Brighton as well. And Allaire, let me tell you, is on some ridiculous form. I've rejected bids in the region of 40, 50 million for him. And I think somebody actually offered 60 as well when we went into negotiations. I thought, not yet. Maybe in January, but not yet. So, the end of September, and we've had another undefeated month, actually. So, we've got 2 draws to our name. One against Leicester, 2-2. One against Everton, 1-1. Fairly good calibre of opponent to not lose to. The Everton game was at home. I think the Leicester game was... Sorry, the Everton game was away. I think the Leicester game was at home. We beat Bournemouth in the cup. I was getting a little bit alarmed that we seem to keep drawing so many games, and the inability to beat championship sides was starting to alarm me a little bit. We beat them on penalties though, and then we did get an emphatic victory against Southampton in the Premier League, and that was reassuring to say the least, and some of our signings started showing up a little bit, and Nkunku has been very good, getting a lot of goals for us. Off the field, however, slightly negative news is that Mikel Antonio is saying that he wants to leave the club. I've tried to offer him a new contract. He doesn't want any of it. So we might have to sell him and get somewhere in the region of £10 million. Annoying, because I think West Ham fans like him. I like him. He's versatile as well up front on the wide positions as well. But he may be forcing our hand at the moment. The only other thing is that we have added centre-back to Declan Rice's positions. So he can fill in if we are looking a little bit lacklustre at the back. Maybe Mark Noble can step in, Lanzini into that midfield. So options, but we are sitting 8th in the table at the moment. We need to maintain and if not improve the sort of kind of form we've been on in this first 7 games. And so we have reached the end of October now. Not the best month. I mean, there was a good result in there. Obviously, you can see that we beat Spurs, which I'm sure West Ham fans would be absolutely thrilled with, away as well at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We then lost to another London rival, Arsenal, only narrowly though. We then proceeded to beat Aston Villa, but then we lost in the League Cup on penalties to Fulham. We were 1-0 up in that game. We saw Fulham equalise late on. I tried to jump in for the penalties, didn't go our way. Then Wolves, we played at home and drew 1-1. So we're not quite there yet. I think another 2 points this month and I would have been happy. But ultimately, we lost 2 games and drew 1. It's very average at the moment. I need a month where we just like have some blistering form, and I hope it's coming soon. The other thing to note, as obviously you can see, it's the 2nd of November now. Mikel Antonio has left the club. He's gone to Newcastle United, or he will when the January transfer window opens. We get £7.5 million out of that £10.2 million overall transfer fee that we got for Antonio. You know what? For a 31-year-old player, it's not a bad fee. I just didn't want to sell him. My hand was forced. So that's another position and another sort of bit of squad depth that we are down, and we are probably going to need to try our best to recoup some funds and sign 3 more players in January if we possibly can. And finally, just before we get into November's fixtures, we've had a 8-week injury to Balbuena here, which is not ideal considering we're already reasonably thin in the defensive department. We could do with another couple of centre-backs and maybe another couple of full-backs as well, ideally. So, yeah, that's a difficult injury to take, but Garcia and Diop still going strong, and as you can see, our form is decent at the moment. So, not a very busy month in November, but we did okay. We got 6 points out of a possible 9. One of those was a game against Liverpool. It was at home, and we did get a rather embarrassing result there. 5-0 we lost. But a 3-0 victory away at Sheffield United and a nice 1-0 away victory at Fulham as well. That was key. I think if we had drawn either of those games, it would have been not such a great month. So we are in the Christmas period now, which as you can see is very, very busy. We've got, what's that, like 7 games there? Maybe 8 games? I think that's 7 games in total. Chelsea, Man United as well to contend with. So a very difficult spell for us fixture congestion wise. But after this is completed, we'll have a lot clearer of an idea of where we're going to be knocking about at the end of the season, towards the business end of the season. So we'll have a look at the league. We'll have a look at our goal scorers and our assists and stuff like that in the next little stop we do at the end of December. But for now, I'm going to try and get some good results against these lot. So here we are in January now. The transfer window is open. This is the key thing. The transfer window is going to be so key in January. We need to do the right things and use our money efficiently. But that congested list that I was talking about in December, look at how we came through it. We were undefeated and beat the likes of Chelsea, got a draw against Man United. The only slightly, ever so slightly disappointing result did come against Burnley. That was a home game on the 12th there. Other than that, though, a 4-0 away victory at Leeds, a 3-0 away victory at West Brom, 2-0 at home to Chelsea and Newcastle, and Palace as well we managed to defeat at Selhurst Park as well. So that is a really, really brilliant set of results there in December. Very happy with that. If we go to the squad, we can have a look at the ratings of the players, including the ones we've signed, the ones we already had. So Alaire's up to an 83. I don't see him going up much more than that. He's like 20, what is he, 26, 27? So if like a 60 mil bid comes in for him, there's a chance I might take it in order to sign somebody absolutely outstanding, but we'll see. I do like this French vibe that we've got going at the moment. Obviously, Allaire, Saint-Maximin, Fornals is in there at the moment, but obviously Nkunku, Kufau, is he French? I don't know, he might be. Diop, I don't know if he's French as well. Masuaku, another one, I don't know if he's French as well. But 83 for Soucek and 82 for Rice, so they have grown in rating significantly. Bowen up to an 81, Saint-Maximin an 84, our star player as you would suspect really. Cardoso's gone up a touch. We are pretty much a top-class centre-half away from being like as good as most of the top six rating wise. It's as simple as that. I mean, we probably long term, if we were to do another episode with West Ham, we'd need to improve our fullbacks as well, maybe a bit more depth in midfield, another backup striker that's a bit better than Antonio, who actually has just left, so maybe we do need to focus on that in the short term. But overall, the starting 11 of West Ham, we have got to be absolutely brilliant for Premier League level. Definitely a top 6 starting 11. It's just depth really where we need to improve. In the league table then, if we back out of here, you will see that we are sitting nice and comfortably. Oh, it's actually on a cup game, isn't it? Okay, let's go into the standings. Let's change the competition. I want to keep the suspense. So let me know what you guys think before I actually reveal it down in the comments. Before bish bash bosh, we go to the Premier League and see that we are in 5th position. We are ahead of the likes of Arsenal and Spurs, and we are in that mix of London clubs now who are, at least this season, going for the top 6. And Manchester City, Liverpool, Manchester United and Chelsea are the only teams above us. Chelsea, by the way, only above us on goal difference, on goals scored, because we have the same goal difference. So overall, fantastic first half of the season. Now, let's cut to, hopefully, some really good transfer business. By the way, before we do that, just confirmation, I think, is going to be here, yes, that Michail Antonio has departed. And currently, our transfer budget, I believe it'll be around £10 million. I haven't fully checked. Yeah, 10.51 million. So we're going to need to ship some players out in order to do some proper business here. So we haven't actually moved forward much time at all since the last update, but let me update you guys on what's been going on. So first and foremost, I don't know if it's going to be on the right hand side here. I hope it is, but we have made a signing. We've made our first signing. There we go. It is Jada Silva, the 73 rated left back, who comes from Bristol City. He's 22 years old. He's got bags of potential and he provides depth at left back. Masuaku is our only out and out left back, but now that's all changed with the signing of De Silva, and I think that's a really good capture actually. But that is our only sort of player that we want to sign. The remaining 2 slots we've got left need to be players that can come straight into the team. Definitely a centre back, and then depending on whether or not we get to sell Allaire for ridiculous money, the other option might be a striker or at least a forward player. But we're going to have to play that towards the end of January based on the transfer offers we get and that sort of thing. So for now, we've made one signing. We are laughing because we've got, well, we're not laughing actually, but we've got more depth, so we're more happy. The other thing we've done is we have recalled 2 of our loans. So we've got Winston Reed, who is somewhere here. He's come back, 74 rated. For now, probably not going to sell him because he's too old, but as a 74 rated centre-back, just gives us a little bit more depth there if we need to rotate for the FA Cup and whatnot. De Silva's here, and also Felipe Anderson, a relatively expensive player, obviously blistering pace, great dribbling, great forward attributes. We can get a lot of money for him. I'm thinking like 30 million, maybe something in that region, which will again free up potentially somebody amazing coming through the door, which is what I'm holding out for. So we'll see how that develops. For now, we've got a few fixtures to contend with, and yeah, I'll update you when there are any developments. So it's been a tough old January negotiation wise. I must admit, it's not been easy to get players through the door. It's not been easy to get deals done. However, I'm hoping it's in this tab. We have got ourselves a nice centre back that's going to fit right in to our first team plans, and he comes through the door. His name is Ozan. I think it's Kabak. I'm going to double check it because I'm not 100% sure I've got every single letter right there. Yeah, it's Kabak. So Ozan Kabak comes in. He's 77 rated, but he's 20 years old, and I predict him to go up to probably be our highest rated centre back very, very quickly. And we don't anymore have to rotate players in like this 68 rated Cardoso. As much as he'll be a decent player, Premier League standard, top 8, top 6, like West Ham want to be, he's just not good enough. And now that gives us the option to rotate Kabak with Garcia and basically just have more than 2 centre-backs that are actually fully first-team quality. We also now might be able to go and sell Reed, although we could keep him around to be like a squad rotation option as well. But I'm thinking Cardoso in the long term is probably going to be that guy. So it depends how much we'll get for Reed. The third and final deal is all contingent on whether someone leaves because we have no money left in the bank now. By the way, the way we got Kabak into the club was £2.5 million plus we gave Schalke Felipe Anderson, obviously the left winger, and they were pretty all over that deal. So I think it's good business for both parties. We get a nice centre back into the squad. In fact, I'm going to put him straight in, and we'll see how he does. So it is deadline day. We have 5 hours left, and we have managed just about to get someone through the door. However, it's not the sort of superstar signing that we were perhaps hoping for, because Allaire, we just couldn't get rid of him for the amount of money that we ideally wanted. I mean, we had a £60 million bid back in the summer, and the most we got in this January transfer window was about 40 million from Chelsea, and they wouldn't budge on it, and I didn't think that was worth it. So we have managed to get through the door a backup striker to Allaire, because remember we lost Antonio, which was difficult, and that is Lys Mousset, who comes in for 5.2 million. So yeah, we had about 6 or 7 million sitting there after all of our business was said and done. I was umming and ahhing between a backup striker, and maybe a young goalkeeper. But I mean, if we do a second episode, guys, and let me know it down in the comments if you do want me to do a second episode. Obviously, at the end of this, you'll find out whether we've achieved our targets with West Ham this season. But if you do want that second episode, of course, we will look to maybe improve on the keeper department, because Fabianski, he's 35 right now. He's not getting any younger. So at the moment, Allaire is our main striker, and we've got coming into the club Lys Mousset, who's 74 rated, 24 years old, who's going to jump onto that bench. And all of a sudden, we are looking like a much more solid outfit. So this January transfer window has enabled us to just increase the squad depth in a lot of areas where we were lacking in that first half of the season. And I think that sets us up to be able to rotate and do well going into the remainder of the season. So that is probably our transfer business all concluded. I can't see anything groundbreaking happening in this last 5 hours. So with that all being said and done, unless anything happens, I'll see you at the end of the month for a review of our results and look where we are in the table and that sort of thing. And then we've got the second half of the season to kick on with. So we have entered the month of February now. We are really in the business end of the season. But if we go back one, I think we had a pretty solid transfer window. As I said, we increased the squad depth a great deal, which helps us going forward. A lot of nice young players into the squad that will grow in the future and become stars for West Ham in the future. But on the pitch, we lost 1-0 to Manchester City most recently. We drew with Arsenal in the Cup. Actually, it wasn't a bad result because it was away. We lost at home to Brighton, which is a really poor result. Lost to Liverpool, lost to Fulham as well. But of course, before that, we did win against Hull City in the FA Cup in that first round. We have now a replay of the Cup at home against Arsenal this month, and then difficult fixtures against Spurs, against Southampton away, and then again an away day to Chelsea. So we're going to have to really kick on, because in the table right now, I think we're a few points behind 6th, as we've had, as I say, some tough results. So let's have a look at the league table and also have a look at the squad hub and the stats of our players. So if we go to the Premier League, you can see we are 7th, so we're doing well. We're in the we're in that boundary of top 8, let's say that, and we're 5 points off of Chelsea in 6th. So we're going to have to really, as I say, kick on, have some good form, and hope that a lot of our new signings and some of our pre-existing players just hit some hot form basically in the latter part of the season. So stats wise, let's have a look at our top scorers this season. So if we go all the way up to the top, our top scorer is Allaire, the striker. He's been on form. He's got 10 goals in 24 appearances in the Premier League. It's a decent return. Saint Maximin behind him with 9. Bowen and Nkunku as well, chipping in with a lot of goals, and then a few other guys chipping in here and there. Assists wise, it seems like our star player is Soucek. He's got 9 assists from that deep midfield spot, so he's like a deep line playmaker for us now. Very solid player in real life. He's proven to be a very solid player as well for us in this. You can see he's also been part of 10 clean sheets, which is more than any other player. Bowen and Saint Maximin and Nkunku, the only other massively notable players chipping in with assists. But now it's time to focus our attention on the business end of the season and get those points on the board and claw those points back on the 6th position in the league. That's what we're aiming for. So here we are at the end of February now, and we finally had a month of perfect results. We got 4 games and 4 wins out of those 4 games. And I mean, you look at the opposition as well. Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, Southampton away as well. That's not an easy game. And of course, Chelsea were away, and we got 4 wins there. 1 in the Cup and 3 in the league. And I tell you what, this West Ham team, it's got minerals, mate. If we can continue this kind of form in the next couple of months, top 6 is going to be a good shout for us. Very difficult running, and what a performance from the boys. And there we go, another month down and another almost perfect month. Not quite, because we did get that draw on the 20th against Leicester. I'm not going to reveal the league position until we get to April, and we'll play the last game of the season. 2-0 away victory against Watford in the Cup. A 3-0 away victory as well against Burnley in the league. And that MK Dons victory on the 3rd of the month as well, and then that draw against Leicester. It's a very good month again. You can't complain. How are we doing in the league? We'll have to find out in a minute. So one thing I've been doing in the background of this save is trying to bring some youth players through. So there are a few that are going to be very good if we do continue this West Ham career mode into the future, into sequel episodes. So Maximov and Vasiliev, the 2 Russians, are literally going to be world class. I mean, we've got players like Mozarov as well, who's going to be very good. This Yaksov guy, very underrated at the moment, but in the future will be very good. So for now, we can promote Maximov and I think promote Vasiliev as well to the senior team. And we've got ourselves some very tidy looking players up and coming on the books. So another thing worth noting for sort of squad depth reasons, we've added a right back to Jada Silva's positions that he can play. So if we do have injuries in that right back position, if our main right back gets injured, at least now we've got somebody who's pretty much Premier League level who can come in and step in. Because we've been playing Ben Johnson perhaps a little bit more than we should this season. And that was just because of the transfer embargo that we impose on ourselves, not being able to sign that extra 1 or 2 players and strengthen those 1 or 2 extra positions. But what we've done, we've worked around it. This is the whole point of the challenge. And now Jada Silva can play at right back if we need him to. Alright guys, so we've got 4 games remaining now in the Premier League, and then the season's over. The season's done and our league position will be decided. So the month of April for us, not the best month for us. We started things off with a win against West Brom. We then lost to a team that are close to us in the league in Manchester United, and we lost to them at Old Trafford 1-0. Tight result, but we ultimately lost. We then beat Sheffield United, so we bounced back, good result, and then we lost at home to Everton, which was probably the worst result of the entire month. We also got knocked out of the FA Cup at, I think, the quarter-final stage, potentially, on penalties to Leicester, so A lot of penalty shootouts won early on in the season. Unfortunately, our first one lost. So the 4 games that we have remaining are Aston Villa, Arsenal away, difficult game, Wolves away, and our last game of the season will be Leeds at home. So let me show you guys the table. This is where we sit right now. We are in 5th place. We have a 2-point advantage over 6th placed Arsenal, but they've also played one more game than us. So if you look down the table, who's going down this season? West Brom rock bottom, Leeds and Sheffield United, the 2 Yorkshire-based clubs, making up the rest of the teams that are looking to go down, although Southampton and potentially Brighton and Fulham could get dragged into that as well. At the moment, though, top 4 is probably not going to happen. Top 6 is... we're looking like we're in a solid place for it. I mean, we're 4 points ahead of Chelsea. Wolves and Arsenal are 2 of the clubs that we do have matches against in this final month. So here's what I'm going to do. To make this kind of, nail-biting, let's sim all of the time up until the 13th, and that will leave us to play the final game of the season against Leeds. If it means nothing, it means nothing. If we have to win it, fine. We've won against Aston Villa 3-0. That's brilliant. I don't know what, obviously Arsenal's results are going to affect us as well. If they can claw back points on us and then we lose to Wolves, we could be in trouble. So these are the 2 most important results of the entire season, potentially. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's a 1-1 draw. That's not bad, That's not bad. As long as we can avoid defeat at Wolves, I think we're fine. I think. We'll soon find out. Away at Wolves. If we win that 2-0, I think we're going to be fine. So, potentially, this game against Leeds could just be for fun. And yes, it will be. Officially, we cannot finish in any other position other than 5th. What a fantastic season for West Ham. That is unbelievable. Nobody would have suspected West Ham finishing 5th. Even in this little series where we can only make 3 signings per window. 5th was a big ask, This is the team that's done it for us. Overall, towards the end of the season, this is how we look. Our strongest 11 and our bench. Fabianski, 80 rated. The back line, Masuaku, good season for him. Kabak, the new signing, up to a 79 as well. Diop, very, very good player, solid player. I think changing his development plan has really helped him grow a couple of ratings since we last checked in on him. 81 rated right now. Kufal, don't think he's going to raise much. Maybe right back would be a position we need to look at if we were to do a second episode. Susek and Rice, both 84 rated midfielders, as well as Nkunku, who is an 84 rated, still only 22 or 23 perhaps now, centre attacking midfielder. Bowen's gone up to an 82. He started as a 77 on this game. So he's had a really, really good season. A lot of goals he scored as well. Saint Maximin is up to an 85. You're talking about world class when you get to 85. Allaire up top at an 83. As I suspected, his growth has stunted a little bit. And then our backup players, Randolph with that +4 on his base 73 rating. De Silva looking like he's going to be a good upcoming left back for this level. Garcia, another young player who's going to be fantastic for us. Noble, he's just been in and around it. The club captain, the West Ham legend. Lanzini, by the way, this is his last season because he's now leaving or retiring, I think, at the end of this one. Lanzini and Fornals have been good players to rotate in. We needed players like that weren't necessarily going to start every week, but good quality rotation options and off the bench. And then Mousse actually has played quite well, and he's been a solid backup striker. I think a smart sign-in considering we didn't manage to sell Allaire, just to strengthen that sort of area. I don't know about anybody else being too useful. I think Cardoso's gone up quite a bit from his, I think he started off as a 66. So it's a +3 for him. Johnson as well. You don't expect him to come in and perform at Premier League level, but from time to time he definitely did. So I'm thinking if we were to continue this series, guys, I'm thinking Randolph and Fabianski are both leaving the club. Oh, we might be able to get a contract for Randolph, but Fabianski's definitely leaving. So we're going to need ourselves a first-team keeper for sure. I think probably a right back, and then probably a world-class striker in at West Ham. And you are looking at potentially, if we did another season, quite comfortably pushing for top 4, I'd say. I really would. I mean, a lot of these players that are 76 to 79 rated, your Garcias, your Kabaks, even Rice, I know he's a lot higher rated, but he's young. The point is they're young, so they're going to grow rating-wise a lot more. So overall, yeah, very, very pleased with what I've done with the West Ham squad. I won't rate it until I've played a game with them. So we're going to play this Leeds game. And then, guys, we will end the episode off and give the ultimate score out of 10. Oh, but just before we actually get into that Leeds game, let's have a look at the squad hub and have a look at the stats for the season for all of our players. So I'll just go from top to bottom appearance-wise so you can see who is involved throughout the season. We'll just go all the way down so you can see, yeah, the players maybe like from maybe from Fornals down, you're starting to look at squad players, and then you're looking at players that were like bit part when you get down to the 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s. Goals-wise, let's have a look at who our top scorer was, because this is actually a first for me as well. I haven't actually seen this. I did suspect it would have been Haller. He got 15 goals in the league. Then Saint-Maximin got 15 overall, 11 in the league. Bowen with 10 in the league and 13 overall, and Nkunku as well. So those 4 attacking options for us, absolutely brilliant. Goal scoring and goal contribution wise. You can see also their assists, very, very solid as well. Bowen leading the line with assists with 11 assists and 12 overall. That's 11 in the league. Susek with 11 assists overall, 9 in the league. Saint-Maximin, Nkunku, Masuaku, Rice Noble and Haller. And a couple of individual assist contributions as well for some of our other players. So, yeah. Usual suspects, star players of the season, Saint-Maximin, Bowen, Haller and Nkunku. It's pretty simple. And then that midfield as well, Rice and Susek, very, very solid. I think the defence was a work in progress, but in the end, 5th in the table, you cannot complain. But anyway, let's get into this Leeds game and and conclude the episode now. So this is going to be a tradition of Clubs in Trouble. We're always going to play the last game of the season, no matter whether it maybe doesn't mean much. Like today, it doesn't really mean anything because we can't even move from 5th to 4th or 6th. So sometimes, though, it will mean that, you know, it will be an important game. So it will be potentially a game that we need to win to qualify for Europe or to maybe finish in a certain position in the table, maybe to avoid relegation, who knows. But I think today, for now, we're just going to try and enjoy this this West Ham team that we've built, and we're going to try and have some fun against Leeds, who, by the way, are getting relegated, it seems. So they're probably actually going to be fighting, maybe to save themselves from relegation. Maybe I should have checked that. Probably should have checked that. That would have been interesting. But if we can send Leeds down and have fun while doing it, then I'm all happy, you know. Haller, oh, he's taken advantage of poor defending there. This time Nkunku comes forward. Look at that pace. Back into Haller. Bang! Oh, what a finish. And this is the team that we've bred, man. This is a ruthless team. That was brilliant work from Nkunku and Haller. And Haller with another, I think that's his 16th goal of the season, isn't it? Brilliant stuff from him. This is a very, very good team, I'm telling you. They feel nice to just pass the ball around with. They link up well. Good dodge in that challenge there. And then bang! Roof of the net, inside roof of the net. Great finish. Susek to Haller. Haller likes to come quite deep to collect the ball. I've noticed that. Kufal going to play the through ball. Kufal's been very good, like at playing key passes. Bang! Oh, what a finish! Haller with a second. That is what Haller does. I know I'm talking about potentially getting rid of this guy, but that is what he does. He's just in the box. If it falls to him, if he's got time, in fact, he doesn't even need time. One touch, bang, in the back of the net. Look at that. I think that was Bowen in the end, wasn't it, who put the cross in? I might be wrong. Bang. 2-0. Love that. Oh, sorry, it was Susek. Yeah, number 28. My bad. Rodrigo in the box now. Oh, he plays the pass. And they have pulled one back, Leeds. They're fighting. They're fighting. That was, again, our defence just not quite dealing with it. And perhaps we're just still a little bit off of having a top quality defence for the Premier League. So, yeah, not too surprised to see us concede a goal, but we're still doing what we need to going forward, so it's fine. Great challenge by Diop there. Can he set us on a counter-attack? And Declan Rice, great vision to release Saint-Maximin. Look at this pace from Saint-Maximin. Got to be the finish. Oh, what a goal. What a goal. From Diop's tackle to Declan Rice's pass to an outstanding finish from our star signing, Alan Saint-Maximin. What a team this West Ham team is. I'll say it again. Just want to see the replay of that. Look at that from the number 8. Bosh. Back of the net. Love that. We've won it again high up the pitch. Haller to release. Is he onside? He is. And Nkunku, you've got to score it, mate. Oh, it's a good finish. He's missed a couple this game. But Nkunku shows that it doesn't matter. He doesn't let it affect his confidence. And there's the new West Ham attacking midfielder. Something they've needed for years, someone like this. This whole French vibe we've got going on in this team, the chemistry is just brilliant. The new dimensions it gives them is just really good. Lots of pace, lots of attacking presence. Something that I just haven't really seen in West Ham for a long while. Oh, it's another good tackle from Susek. Let's play that out wide. Oh, it's the wrong player, but we've managed to make it work. This could be 5. It's Jared Bowen. Can he get himself on the score sheet? He's certainly going to try. Bowen! Oh, he's hit the bar and finished in the end anyway by Ellen St. Maximan. Everybody who we've signed, all of our star players this season, I mean, Bowen actually we didn't sign, I don't know what I'm talking about, but all of our star players this season are just chipping in this game, just showing everybody what they've been about for the entire season. St. Maximan with his 2nd of the game. Unlucky from Bowen not to be on the score sheet, but wow, what a performance this is ending up to be. And there is the full-time whistle. Yeah, that was fun. A shame it didn't mean much. I mean, we might have sent Leeds down, so there's that, I suppose. If anybody is watching this who doesn't like Leeds, great. If there is anybody watching this who loves Leeds, my apologies. Ultimately, though, it's all about West Ham this episode, and that 5-1 victory, brilliant stuff. I mean, St. Maximan and Nkunku, as well as Allaire, the star performers there. I mean, Nkunku literally got a 10 out of 10, so what more do you want? I mean, look at those ratings. Everybody played well. I can't believe Kufau only got a 6.5. He was pretty good on the day for me. Didn't make any subs in the end either. That's the game, and what a win. So, after that final match day, let's take a look at the league table. Now, Manchester City ran away with the league. They won it by 11 points. The other 3 making up the Champions League spots, Liverpool, Man United and Spurs. I think we need to finish above Spurs next season if we're going to do another episode with West Ham. West Ham, though, 70 points. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in seasons gone by, that may well have been a top 4 points tally. Then below us, you've got Chelsea, who achieved Europa League. I don't know whether Arsenal will have. Leicester, Wolves, Burnley, and then the relegated 3, West Brom, Sheffield United, and it was Leeds. Did Southampton win on the last day as well? Let's have a look. They didn't. They lost. So, wow. Oh, yeah. So that means that if Leeds had beaten us, they would have survived at the expense of Southampton. So, yeah, sorry, Leeds. But, yeah, this West Ham team we put together is just too good. Now, just to end the episode then, let's leave it with this image of this squad imprinted in our minds. That is the team that we have created. I mean, if you were to buy FIFA 21 next year and West Ham started with that team, I think you'd be pretty happy. So yeah, good work. Let me know what you guys think of this season and of this series format down in the comments below. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll leave it to post-editing Jamie to give the ultimate score out of 10. Right, so here we are. It's time to give the ultimate verdict on the rating for this season with West Ham and the debut episode of the Clubs in Trouble series. Now, if the defence wasn't such a problem throughout and causing me stress, this could be like a 9, even towards a 10 out of 10. However, I'm going to have to curb that a little bit, and I'm going to go with still a very, very solid 8 out of 10. That is how I'm rating my performance and West Ham's season as a result of my performance in the transfer market and of course in the game as well. That is how I rate the season. West Ham finishing 5th is not going to happen in real life this season, so it's a very good achievement. Next up though, you guys can decide which club we use in the next episode of Clubs in Trouble. If you become a member, you can vote on exclusive polls over in the community section, and of course we might do a second season with West Ham and see if we can maybe up the antes a little bit and see if we can get into that top 4. But thank you guys so much for watching this debut episode on the channel of Clubs in Trouble. I do hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.